What's going on, my fellow Inklings? It's your boy Dynamo Roller, aka the Dig Dug himself, and today I want to talk about a very special topic in the Splatoon talking world. We are all worried about weapon balancing. I mean, it's plain as day. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Weapon balancing. Now we know that there's three types of weapons. We have shooters, chargers, and we have rollers. The infamous roller seems to be the go-to weapon of choice for newer people who want to have a lot of fun without using a lot of thought or skill or whatever you want to call it, because it gets the job done. Because this game is not necessarily about the kills, more so about the coverage. The paint roller, you slap it down on the ground and go. You know what I mean? It's pretty much winning all the time. So a lot of people have called it, you know, overpowered in that sense. In my opinion, it is pretty darn good. You know what I mean? I mean, it is definitely a weapon to be worried about, especially when you see a team with like 3 or 4 of those. But I'm here to tell you guys that the weapons are pretty balanced. I mean, it just means you have to go in there with a different type of strategy. If you know that your the enemy team, excuse me, has a significant amount of, you know, rollers on their side, you just got to go in there with something that can shoot, because every weapon can beat every weapon. I mean, that's how it works. That's how you know when something is balanced. Sure, the Splat Roller, everyone says, man, the Splat Roller is overpowered, but the Splat Roller can't really shoot. So if you can shoot, you beat the Splat Roller. You know what I mean? Unless they get the drop on you. I mean, if they get the drop on you, there's nothing you can do about that. They got the drop on you. You know what I mean? That's anybody. But if you have like something like the splatter shot, the standard splatter shot, the one is actually about a medium range weapon, there shouldn't be a reason why you should lose to a Splat Roller that you can see. Now, again, like I said, it can get snuck up on. That's a totally different story. But if a Splat Roller is coming at you and you have a splatter shot, you should win that every day, all day, because he can't hit you from the distance in which he's at. He can't hit you no further away from you than he is to you. You know, so Splat Rollers, they are really powerful weapons, but their weakness is their range. They have none. Sure, like I said, they can pick up the paintbrush and splat at you, but by the time they do that, odds are you probably inked them up anyway. So just think about that, guys. Just understand that if you're going to beat a roller, try to use a standard splatter shot, something with a little bit more range to it. Now, the Splatter Shot Junior is a short range weapon, but for the most part, it's kind of a toss-up almost when it comes to the Splat Roller and the Splatter Shot Junior. I will say, if you have great internet and at that very small range between you and him, you might be able to come out on top. So I want to say it's kind of even. But the Splatter Shot Junior also gets beat out to the Splatter Shot Standard, the Standard Splatter Shot. Although, at close range, Splatter Shot Junior has you all day. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a paper, rock, scissors kind of thing. So I just want to tell you guys that the weapons, in my opinion, are pretty well balanced. That is to be said for now, because later on, when you have additional weapon unlocks, which I saw within the Nintendo Direct that there was multiple different types of shooters. You have medium range shooters, short range shooters, and you have long range shooters. Which from what I saw anyway within the Nintendo Direct, that the long range shooter seemed to act just like the medium range shooter, but just long range. So that weapon right there, in my opinion, once everyone gets that one, might be the overpowered weapon of the game. It covers the same amount of ink, but shoots at a longer distance. Now, I will say that it probably made it to where it consumes more ink or something along that nature. Probably has like a lower fire rate. But from what I'm looking at, you can actually hit people from quite a good distance away. That one might be the most overpowered weapon in the game. But then again, on the same hand, I can say that the Dynamo Roller, I believe that's what it's called, is pretty much a slower but better, you know, paint roller. Like if you pick up the paint roller and splash the enemy with it, you deflect bullets back, and it covers a larger area than the standard paint roller. So I don't know. I want to say that every weapon has its thing. Every weapon category has its thing that makes it what seems to be quite overpowered. It's all up in the air though. It's all for debate, because this game isn't even out yet for us, and I'm already trying to like look up and try to figure out tactics for how to actually combat certain weapon categories and whatnot. But I would like to think that for the most part the game is pretty well balanced, because everything so far can beat everything. Albeit when the game actually comes out, that might change a little bit. So it might be a certain weapon can only be bested by a certain weapon, that same weapon. So like the long range splatter shot can only be beaten by itself, because the only weapon that can actually tango with it, you know what I mean? Because it's so long range. Or maybe even one of the chargers, the sniper rifles, if you will. There's a sniper rifle that charges really slow but has an incredibly long distance. There's another sniper rifle that charges at the same speed as normal but has a scope on it for better aiming. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a charge out there with maybe even a shorter range, but charges a lot faster. These are all up for debate. I don't really know the weapons out right now, but from what I can tell within the demo, the weapons are pretty well balanced. But any weapon type where there's a whole bunch of can really spell a bad day for you. So what I'm trying to say is, for the most part, the weapons are balanced, but too much of a good thing or one thing can probably be bad for you. Now, while I still got time, I want to talk about your sub weapons and your special weapons, which I'm just going to call the supers. Special weapons are going to be called supers. But your sub weapons are going to be things like your Splat Bomb, which is the grenade, you know what I mean? And you have another one called the Burst Bomb, whereas the Burst Bomb is weaker than the Splat Bomb, but it uses less ink, you know what I mean? Balancing right then and there, right in your face. The Splat Bomb, though, it will use almost a full cartridge of ink, so after you throw a Splat Bomb, you have to, like, run around and get some ink to do anything else for the most part. On top of those, you have the Suction Bomb. The Suction Bomb is going to be like the sticky grenade. To an area anyway, you have to throw it against a wall or a surface, and after a while, it'll blow up. You know, I want to say it has the same damage as the Splat Bomb, because if I'm not mistaken, it takes about the same much paint to use, probably because it's tricky, you know what I mean? You put it somewhere, wait for somebody to come by, and bam, or something like that. Not really sure, but for the most part, I want to say the grenades are pretty well balanced. You know, I prefer the Splat Bomb because for the most part, it's, you know, me shooting at somebody and then they ducking out of the corner real quick, and I'm like, no, throw two of them real quick and I get them. You know what I mean? The specials, though, the Bomb Rush, you just get a lot more of whatever bomb you had. You know, if you had the Splat Bomb or the Burst Bomb, the Bomb Rush allows you to have quite a few of those you can throw at a quick succession. Excuse me. Then you have something like the Killer Whale, which you set down and it disperses all enemies within its target range. You know, I want to say that all these things are all well balanced, so when the game actually drops, it's going to be a well balanced affair. But anyway, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video, and if you think this game is balanced or not.